Example 1, a 5-gallon container of trail mix is 20% nuts. Another trail mix is added to it, resulting in a 12-gallon container of trail mix that is 40% nuts. Write an equation to describe the relationships in this situation. So I'm going to start with writing just an equation for this first part. So I have a 5-gallon container that is 20% nuts. So times 20%. Then we would add to it the second container. So let's look at what we know about the second container. It says another trail mix is added to it. That's all we know. So we don't know what percent it is, and we don't know how much it is. So I'm going to leave 2 blanks here, so I make sure I go back and fill them in. All right, so then it results in a 12-gallon container that is 40% nuts. So we're going to do a 12-gallon container that is 40% nuts. Okay, so to find the amount, like we did on the last problem, we had to add together the 2 amounts to get this one. So if I don't know this amount, I can work backwards. I know my total is 12, and I've already used up 5. So this could be 12 minus 5, but we would have to solve for this percent. So this would be our unknown. And if you want to use a variable, I'm going to change it to x when we start to work this out. All right, your next question says to explain in words. I'll get the paper here. Explain in words how each part of the equation relates to the situation. So I'm going to copy down the equation we just wrote, and then we're going to write out in words what each number means. So we had 5 times 20% plus 12 minus 5 times our unknown equals 12 times 40%. All right, as I write this, I'm going to write it in the same order. So this 5, this first number, was the amount of the first mix. And then our 20% was the percent of nuts in that first mix. So then we added to it. This 12 minus 5 was the total amount minus the amount in first mix. So it was that 12 minus the 5. And then my x is going to represent the percent of the nuts that are in that mix. So that's going to equal this 12, I'm going to have to write down here, is the total amount. And this 40% represents the total percentage of nuts when we add them together. Okay. And then our next question wants us to actually solve that equation and find the percent of nuts that are in that second trail mix. So I'm going to write out our equation that we started with. We're going to simplify it down and then we'll solve it. So we had 5 times 20% plus 12 minus 5 times x was equal to 12 times 40%. All right, I'm going to rewrite this and change these to decimals and subtract. So 5 times 0.2 plus, when I subtract, I get 7x equals our 12, I forgot to put parentheses around that, sorry, times 0.4. So now I can multiply all of these together. When I multiply 5 times 0.2, I get 1 plus 7x is equal to, when I multiply 12 times 0.4, I get 4.8. To solve this, I need to get rid of this 1 first, so I subtract 1 from both sides. Subtract here, we get 3.8. Since it's being multiplied and we don't know what to multiply by, we do the opposite and we divide. So we're going to divide by 7. We get that x is equal to 0.542 something. So we can round this, so this would be about 54%.